We spoke earlier with tonight's keynote speaker at the Republican convention, New Jersey Governor Christie. His speech will fire up the Republican base, and it also could change his own political future. Bill Plante has been looking back at some memorable convention speeches.
Well, Charlie, I've seen some really good ones, and unfortunately, I've seen some pretty bad ones, too.
You've seen some speeches.
There's an art to it. You got to hit just the right tone. But let's take a look.
All right.
At the 1976 Republican convention, it was an impromptu speech that caught the moment and brought the delegates to their feet, given by Ronald Reagan after he narrowly missed winning the nomination.
We've got to quit talking to each other and about each other and go out and communicate to the world that we may be fewer in numbers than we've ever been, but we carry the message they're waiting for.
8 years later, Reagan was running for re-election, and in the other party, New York Governor Mario Cuomo, the Democrats' keynote speaker, boldly challenged Reagan's vision of America as a shining city on a hill.
There is despair, Mr. President, in the faces that you don't see, in the places that you don't visit, in your shining city.
Historians called it a landmark speech. It catapulted Cuomo into consideration as a presidential candidate. But his indecision about entering the race earned him the nickname Hamlet on the Hudson. In 2004, Barack Obama also became an overnight sensation after his convention speech.
I stand here knowing that my story is part of the larger American story, that I owe a debt to all of those who came before me, and that in no other country on earth is my story even possible.
Just 4 years later, Obama accepted his party's nomination. Sometimes it's the humor that makes for a memorable speech, like Ann Richards mocking George H.W. Bush, the Republican standard bearer in 1988.
Poor George. He can't help it. He was born with a silver foot in his mouth.
And Alaska Governor Sarah Palin in 2008.
You know, they say the difference between a hockey mom and a pit bull? Lipstick.
And sometimes it's the bad speeches which are remembered. It's hard to forget Arkansas Governor Bill Clinton's 1988 performance.
Michael Dukakis is not a performer. Some might even suggest that he's a little bit colorless.
I watched from the floor as he nominated Michael Dukakis.
And I'd like to talk a little about Mike Dukakis, the man.
Clinton was allotted 15 minutes, but he spoke for more than half an hour.
Mike's old-fashioned, all right. He's the kind of man who plays it straight and keeps his word and pays his bills.
And when he signaled that he was almost done,
In closing,
the audience broke into cheers. But though the speech was a flop, that didn't stop Clinton from winning in 1992.
Pat Buchanan has just stepped out now.
On other occasions, a speaker's message may not fit with the nominee's theme. Pat Buchanan hurt George H.W. Bush with a divisive message that came to be called the culture war speech.
The agenda that Clinton would impose on America. Abortion on demand, a litmus test for the Supreme Court, homosexual rights, discrimination against religious schools, women in combat units. That's change, all right. But that's not the kind of change America needs. It's not the kind of change America wants.
And former Mayor Rudy Giuliani, another keynote speaker, fell flat in 2008 when he attacked Barack Obama.
Barack Obama has never led anything, nothing, nada.
Giuliani didn't do himself any favors either that night, but tonight it's Governor Christie's chance to help both Mitt Romney and himself. He can be blunt, he can be tough, he can be funny. It's a once-in-a-lifetime chance for Christie.
You've seen a few of these, haven't you?
You know what, Charlie? It takes it takes a lot to make a good speech. You have to connect with the audience. You have to give the audience a reason why you're there and involve the audience.
Right.
And tell them a story.
And look at Bill there. Was that you? You had a mustache and there's 84.
Look at him.
I'd rather forget the mustache. Thanks very much.
Very stylish.
You know,
always,
the question
Bill
is
Plante.
about Mitt Romney tonight, whether he'll reveal anything of himself. And he told the Wall Street Journal last week, "I will not be treated like a piece of meat."
Yes. I am who I am, he said.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, but she'll do part of that tonight in her speech.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Good
we'll
to see
cover
you.
it.
Thanks.
Bill Plante, thanks.